Guys, I want to show you something really cool. This is, believe it or not, a complete pick set designed by Harley Ross. Homemade. He designed it and he printed it on his 3D printer at home. It looks like he printed this in two halves, and then on the inside is a insert from a windshield wiper. This one happens to measure 32,000, but you can put any size you want in there, not just from windshield wiper inserts, but feeler gauge or whatever. And then he glued the two halves together and then put this red bead so you can control how much the pick slides in and out. Now, he did tell me this is version 1. He's already on version 2, which, by the way, he's going to give us the plans. We're going to put them on the website, so if you want to print one of these, you can. The slot on version 2 won't go quite as far as this one, because you see if you slide it all the way forward, it really sticks out too far. So on version 2, the slot will only go to about right there. So you'll push it all the way to the max, and you'll have the perfect depth. The other cool thing about this is, again, using a windshield wiper insert. He has the small size windshield wiper insert fit into a slot that he designed in there. That thing will never fall out. Nice and tight, and keeps it very handy for you. Very cool little tool. He did send me a challenge lock in the same box. So I don't think that Harley really intended for me to use, you know, the provided weaponry against his challenge lock, but I'm going to do that. This is a very small keyway. It's not really designed for a 32 thousandths pick, so I'm going to supplement the weaponry with something that Christina sent me, and this is a 1/5 wave. She calls it the Quinn Wave. This is a prototype that she's trying to get Tool, T-O-O-O-L, to produce so we can all buy it. But this is one of, I think, of about 50 that she sent out. This one is designed to go into very small keyways, just like this one. So let's go ahead and give it a try. Let me get everything bolted up here. See if we can get some cooperation out of this lock. All right, this is the tension wrench that goes in the back. I'm going to go ahead and use it against him. That probably won't work. I'm going to go ahead and use it in the top of the keyway. Just remember, when you do it this way, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. When you do use one of these on top of the keyway, push it all the way in until you hit the pin, and then back it out a little bit. And that way you're not wedged up against that pin, which means it wouldn't like to move. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take Christina's wave, and let's just see if we can at least wave up maybe a fault set or set one or two of these pins for us. I'm just going to rock it up. Oops. That's not going to work. A little more tension than that, I hope. All right, let's try that again. I'm going to rock it up and down, as well as rake it in and out. And of course, on an ABUS, it's going to be full of security pins. And this being a challenge lock, probably not going to get it open. All right, I had hoped for a fault set, but we take what we can get. Maybe one or two of them did get set. Now I'm going to take this 32,000. It's really too thick, but it's what I got. All right, I'm going to start in the front because we seem to have a binder. Okay, counter rotation on one. Wow, a lot of counter rotation on one. Okay, we got a click off of him. Okay, we got a very deep fault set going when I touch pin 5. Thought I had an open there. We did. We got an open. That was pin 2. I don't think, well, let's go ahead and cut it. I don't think this is a challenge lock. I think this might be one that Harley threw in. It picked too easy, quite honestly, to be a challenge lock, but let's find out. We got time. All right, Phillips. Besides, that way you guys, you get to watch me gut another lock and potentially injure myself, which is what it's like NASCAR. Everybody hopes for that, right? Okay, nothing unusual. We do have an anti bypass driver or a wafer in there. All right, we got a standard C-clip, and I do have a key, so I can lock this up. Use my favorite tool to pull off that C-clip. Alright, got a half moon. This is a brass one that I made. And let's make sure we're not messing up here. And that should do it. Okay, we are getting a little hung up in there. Okay, I'm only seeing, I I do not believe this is a challenge lock. This is pinned up a pretty standard way, but we're missing pin number 6. Looks like the top of this might have been modded a little bit, filed maybe. Not too challenging on the bitting, but let's give it a try. Let's see what we got. Okay, we got a serrated. Turn this down a little bit. Serrated. 3 is a serrated. Serrated, and pin 5 is a standard. He looks a little bit narrower than normal, but it is a standard pin. I see no threading other than this filing on the top of the core. I don't know why that would be there, other than maybe it was to fit the pins more precisely when it was pinned up. I'm pretty sure that's not done at the factory. That's not the way Germans work. Okay. We have, oh yeah, we got a T-pin. So this is a challenge lock. So an inverted T-pin designed to get caught up in a shear line. I don't see a spring except down in there. Next one, I have a very large spool, and I can tell you this is not a standard ABUS spool. That's like something you'd find in a Vero lock, very deep. Next one, another one of these nasty little T-pins. Definitely no factory stuff here, guys. Number 4, another one of those standard little T-pins. And the last one is kind of, we can get the camera to cooperate, kind of a, I'm going to call that a standard, even though you see 2 little grooves there like you'd find in a serrated, but I don't think that would really act as a serrated pin. Lately we've been having a lot of weird springs, and I don't usually dump out springs, but let's do it. Okay, we do have some variation of springs here as well. I see no serrations, no threading in the Bible, and no, I don't know why they call it a Bible. That question always comes up. But on the springs, I probably should have taken them out in order, because we have a steel spring, we have 2 larger copper springs here, and then we have 2 very thin, looks like they used to be one giant spring that Harley cut in half, and these are very thin. I don't even know if those are entire springs. Very small. Anyway, there's what we're looking at. These little T-pins can be really, really nasty. Let me turn this guy around the way he was oriented. If the springs are powerful enough to push him down in the shear line, that little ledge will get caught, and it's really difficult to get out of the shear line. Also with long spools, the longer the spool, the more difficult it is, because the more subtle the counter rotation is going to be. You're not going to know exactly where you are. So those are very common in Vero locks, those really long ones like that. So there you go, all serrated on the bottom except number 5. Harley, I am impressed with the pinning, but I am more impressed with this new tool. This is, talking about subtle, this is a very subtle tool. Let me find the tension wrench and sticking back in there. This is a very cool little thing to carry in your pocket. If you're looking for an undercover pick, this is it. If you put a 15 thousandths in there, or even a 20 thousandths, that would be the perfect width for to attack almost any lock. That's a great little design you got there. So Harley, thanks for the lock, thanks for the pick, and everybody else, stay safe, stay legal.